Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And we'll wait a few moments here to welcome you. Good morning, Nicole. How are you? And Holly. You guys are the first ones up this morning. Rosalinda and Alice and Mike. Nativity. Good morning, Beth. Nice to have you on. Joe, how are you this morning? And Kevin from Nouveau Brunswick, Madeline from Temiskaming, Quebec. Bonnie, good morning. John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois. Linda from Pennsylvania. Chantal, good morning, Chantal from Ottawa. Kim from Timmins. Lise and Peggy and Jean and Elsie and Wendy from Markham. Good morning, Wendy and Dan. You guys are much appreciated. Nellie, we love you. Mary Jane from Connecticut. Maria, thank you for coming on this morning. Sharon, another Maria, and Connie. Nice to have you on. And from Boca Raton, Maureen. Good morning, Maureen. How are you? Carolyn from Alberta. How are you? Originally from New Lisker, Jeanette and Carmen and Yolande and Helena and Sharon from Long Island, New York. Well, good morning to you, Monette. We appreciate you, and Connie too, and Brenda, and all the gang is on. Jose this morning, good morning. I know I miss a lot of people. Lennis, I think that's the first time I've seen your name. Well, welcome, Marlene. Lucy, good morning to you. And we appreciate it, guys. Like, this is unreal. We get such a good... And by the time this is shared, and our favorite doc, hey, Dr. McEwen is on with us this morning, Michelle. Well, Dr. McEwen, you're going to be interested in this study. You might have seen it already, Denise and Jane. Okay, let's get going. And I'll come on as usual and say hi to you guys after, okay? You like the bright? I thought I'd lighten up your day this morning, okay? With the bright color. Okay. Now listen, I'm going to give you the headline, and then we'll do a little bit of thinking on this headline. It's incredible. It's incredible. Finally getting the world to think a little bit, okay? So this has to do with cancer. This has to do with cancer, but let me read to you the headline. This comes out of the Journal of the American Association for Cancer Research. It's called Cancer Research, and it's the Journal for the American Association for Cancer Research, okay? And in this journal, here's their headline. Healthy lifestyle may help mitigate high genetic risk cancers. Okay? And at the end of the day, the article that is published is very interesting because it talks about, well, look, it's not the first time that anybody in cancer research has said that there are, mitigating factors like smoking, for example. Come on. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that in the early 60s, I've told you the story of my father, but for the new folks that are joining us, let me tell you this, that my dad came home, 1962, I was 10 years old. I remember the day like it was yesterday, because it was a big thing. My dad, I don't know if he really gathered the family together, or I know I watched him do it. He opened up the waste paper basket. I was 10, 1962. And my dad said, I'm quitting smoking. And here's my pack. And I think it was full of Buckingham. I don't even know if those cigarettes still exist. Buckingham filterless cigarettes went in the waste paper basket. And I looked in shock, because in 1962, my mother smoked. My dad smoked 4 packs a day of Buckinghams with his patients. I remember my dad saying, "You got a bad cough? Have a cigarette. You'll cough out all the garbage out of your lungs." I mean, literally, guys, think about this. How far we have come. And in my mind, I was thinking, I was just a kid. I hope my mother doesn't quit, because whose cigarettes am I going to steal? Because I didn't like my dad's. He had those Buckinghams, filterless cigarettes, but my mom was smoking Peter Jackson. Now, for you American folks, I don't know if you had Buckingham or Peter Jackson, okay? With a Canadian cigarette, I don't know. All I know is my mom had Peter Jackson, and already at 10 years old, I was smoking. Now, no, I never got a habit. My older brother cured me of it, and he smoked till the day he died, but he didn't want me smoking. So he made me inhale a cigar. I think it was 10. That cured me. I didn't want to smoke after that. He made me just take 1 puff of a cigar, and he said, "Now inhale it. Go like that." I said, "Okay." And oh my word. Anyway, now, but guys, why am I saying that? Why am I saying all of that to say this? Here we are in 2021, and a cancer research journal finally says, and they use the word may, but that's all right. I give them credit. A review of studies led them to believe that there's a possible link between your lifestyle and cancer. Hello. I've been talking about that for almost 50 years. Cancer is not a genetic disease. It's not. Now, that's the narrative, that it's genetic. Your mommy had breast cancer. You're going to get breast cancer. The cancer societies in Canada, the United States, you can wear pink. I don't care what color you wear. You can wear a ribbon, and you can send your money to the cancer research. I'm not telling you not to do it. Who hasn't been hit by cancer? What family hasn't been hit by cancer? But here's a journal, well respected in the medical community, actually getting physicians to think that maybe, just maybe, there may be a link to lifestyle and not genetics. Meaning that, and I don't know if I coined this phrase. I've been saying it for so long that it's part of my vocabulary, is You can override your genetics. You can override your genetics. Now look, we live in an imperfect world. There's no guarantees, guys, okay? So always put a little disclaimer, always, because, you have kids getting cancer and whatever. They're little canaries in the coal mine. We live in a very imperfect world. But finally, we're shedding some light on you taking personal responsibility for yourself. And for me, my job is to influence as many people as I can. Especially now, it's my full-time job. Speaking to masses, writing newsletters, writing books, doing the Doctor Is In podcast on a daily basis. And you guys are a big part of that. Thank you for being an audience. I want you to take care of yourselves. I want to give you tools to do that as much as you can. So here we have a very respected journal saying, yeah, I guess maybe there's a connection. And they're saying it without actually saying it, that genetics, we've been looking for love in all the wrong places when it comes to cancer. And like I said, I give medicine credit. Where they used to tell you to smoke in World War II, they actually told you to smoke, that it was good for your health. One, you can probably find it if you Google it. 9 out of 10 of the top physicians choose Camel as their cigarettes. I mean it. That was actually advertising in the Life magazines of the 1940s and the 1950s, because they thought smoking actually was good for you. It almost seems ridiculous today, doesn't it? A child understands, smoking can't be good. I got to breathe that in. How can that be good for me? But, medicine. But they got it right. They got that one right. They said, no, it's bad for cancer. And the only dent in cancer, guys, listen to what I'm going to say. The only dent that ever occurred in cancer rates was when people got the memo to stop smoking. It actually put a dent in cancer rates. They went down in the 70s and the 80s. They went down. You guess where they are today, guys? They're right back up there. Yesterday, 1,600, yesterday, 16,000 and change people in the United States died of cancer. It's creeping up to be number one, overtaking heart disease. It hasn't done it yet. It's right there. But that's what happens every day. And it frustrates me because we don't like to talk about, well, you know what? Lifestyle. Make changes. When I wrote the book, The Reset, I talked to you about sugar. And I still get a massive headache when I hear of former patients or whatever, they have cancer, whatever, and they leave the hospital with a case of, oh, you're going to get chemotherapy and you're not going to be able to eat because you won't feel really good. So here's a case of Ensure. Here's a case of Boost. You're just ensuring the cancer is going to grow, and you're just boosting cancer growth with that garbage, because that's what it is. It's pure cancer fuel, loaded with sugar. I remember talking to an oncologist, and she said, Dr. Martin, why are you talking diet when it comes to cancer? It's a genetic disease. It's who your parents are or your grandparents are. I said, Doc, in a very respectful way, I said, how does your PET scan work? I don't know. I haven't thought of it. I said, well, what is a PET scan? Well, it's a cancer scan. We love it. Oncologists love PET scans. I said, okay, how does it work? What do you give the patient before you put them in the machine for the imaging? Oh, glucose. Hello? You give them a glass of glucose? Why? Well, it makes the cancer light up. And I said, like a Christmas tree. True or false? Well, she said, that's true. I said, well, it's sugar. What's glucose? Radioactive glucose. You got to drink it before getting a PET scan. Ugh. But if you have cancer from your head to your toes, you're going to light up. It goes right to it. I said, Doc, why? I don't know, she said. I said, listen, it's because it feeds it. And cancer's like a teenager. It wants to be fed several times a day. And it wants bad fuel. It doesn't want steak. Cancer doesn't want steak. Unlike if you listen to most gurus, oh, red meat, it's so bad for cancer. Don't eat that. Live on the plant kingdom and have fruits and vegetables only. Don't eat red meat. Bad. Cheese. Bad. Eggs. Maybe one or two. It's funny they don't give you a puree of steak when you get the PET scan. Why don't they if red meat causes cancer, why don't they puree steak and say, well, drink this? No. They give you glucose because they know how the machine works. It doesn't work without it. You can't get a PET scan without drinking sugar. Guys, is that too elementary? No, really though. Is the world collectively gone crazy that there's no more common sense anymore? Have we lost our collective minds? And I hate to be negative, but Big Pharma has such an influence. They've hijacked cancer. They've hijacked it. And what? So I don't care who you are, guys. I don't care. Like people, I oftentimes, my former patients or whatever, and doc, what should I do? I got cancer, or my sister's got cancer, my mother's got cancer, my whatever's got cancer. Well, numero uno, number one, stop all sugars. All of them. Oh, you mean, doc, what about fruit? Well, you got cancer, so I know there's antioxidants in fruit. I call them God's candies. They're wonderful. They look wonderful. They are full of antioxidants. But now I might allow you a few berries. Like in Northern Ontario here, where I live, we have blueberries, okay? They're like gold nuggets. That's how much they cost when you try and buy them today, okay? Because, I mean it, like they're gold nuggets almost. And they're loaded with antioxidants. I understand that. They're good. I like them. I love the taste of them. But don't have blueberry pie. I'm sorry. I love that too. But you got cancer. And cut out the crappy carbs. Change your lifestyle. Change your diet. Oh, doc, I can't do that. It's too hard. I didn't say it was going to be easy. It's going to be very hard. It's hard. We're surrounded. We don't live 100 years ago on a farm. And you know what I mean? We live today. You got Netflix. I want a snack. What can I eat? And really in the world today, it's true, isn't it? In North America, we live to eat. We don't eat to live. True or false? That's a true statement. We live to eat. And the food industry, the big conglomerates that they are, you think they don't like that? That you live to eat? I don't know. It was because I came from a family of 11 kids. Man, I love to eat. And then I married an Italian girl. You think I know I don't look that smart, but I'm pretty smart. I'm pretty smart. I married an Italian girl, a Frenchman, married an Italian. Boy, I eat good. I have to discipline myself, and I mean it, on a daily basis. Daily basis. And I got bad genetics. You want to see someone with bad genetics? I got bad genetics. But, again, let's override them. Food. Food. Have to make a drastic change in your life. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because you guys know this, but anyone, any type of cancer, I don't care what kind of cancer it is, it don't matter. Some worse than others. But you have got to eliminate sugar. And this article in the Journal of American Association for Cancer Research, they mention sugar. But of course, they're not saying cut it out, because to them, it's always moderation. moderation. Numero duo. Number one, diet. If nothing else, I'd like you to be so strict. Family members or whatever, you can bring a person to water, you can't make them drink it. But you can give them information, and information is very powerful, isn't it? You can give them information and then they can decide. That's what I tell people today. I said, look, I'm not even in practice anymore. I'm in the information business. I'm going to give information. And I want you to think, use God's gift to you, your brain, and use it. And you're going to have, there's a lot of conflict out there, and especially with social media, but I don't want social media to be shut down. I don't want, if someone says to you, don't listen to Dr. Martin, whatever you do, don't eat eggs, meat, and cheese. Seriously, I actually want you to hear that. I want you to hear it. I'm a big believer in that. God gave you a brain. Take information and make a decision. I'm going to go against the grain, not for the sake of going against the grain. I don't do it because I like controversy. I do it because, in my humble opinion, I'm 100% right. I'm convinced of it. And on a daily basis, I try and prove it to you. I try and make you think. And there's a lot of things that get vilified. One of them is, like I said, I'm big on eggs, meat, and cheese. It's the best fuel in the world. And it's really important that you eat from there. Eat from the plant kingdom. After you're finished the reset, go ahead, eat the plants. But don't live on plants. You're not meant to. And I think I've proven my case over the years to you. With amino acids and B12 and all this is found in the animal kingdom, not in the plant kingdom. But anyway. When it comes to cancer, number 2 is vitamin D. I don't care what kind of cancer it is, I mean it. Now, there are some cancers that are much more important to get your levels of optimized of vitamin D. One of them, ladies, is breast cancer, which we're not winning the war on breast cancer. So if you want to wear pink, if you want to wear anything and march around and say, let's win the war, well, we're not winning the war, we're losing the war. Now, you might live a little longer, but that's not stopping you from getting cancer. And what they've consistently shown, study after study after study after study that gets pushed in the background, push, because it does not fit the narrative, is you and I taking vitamin D or getting Viderma from the sun. The higher your levels of vitamin D, if they're optimized, the lower your risk. This is just a blanket statement. The optimized levels of vitamin D will diminish your risk of any type of cancer. That should be known by everybody. But you see how careful the media, Big Pharma, who owns the media, vitamin D, be careful. Vitamin D, You can get sick from vitamin D. Don't go in the sun. You're going to get skin cancer. And they push it, and they push it, and they push it. And people are scared skinny. Oh, Dr. Munt, vitamin D. I hear you can overdose on it. Oh, yeah. The waiting rooms are full in the hospital. They're full of people with high vitamin D. They're all there. They're sick like dogs, and they're ready to die right in front of your eyeballs. I'll tell you guys, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, is that nonsense. Even, guys, when it came to therapeutics for a virus, a therapeutic, well established, they can't say it. You can't say it. A vitamin, a hormone. You're a human solar panel. And can I say something just in closing? Cancer hates the sun. It hates it. It hates the sun. And for you folks who can't get enough sun, you need to take vitamin D. It's inexpensive. It is essential. And guys, I'm going to keep preaching it. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry if I bore you. You know, I'm sorry if I bore you with that. I wore my sunshine shirt today. Okay? Just to remind you to take your vitamin D, or when the sun's out, get out and buy Derma 10,000 international units. In 20 minutes of sun. Let it come into your arms. Let it come on your legs. And then don't burn. Just don't burn in it. Don't burn. The American Journal for Cancer Research, finally, in 2021. Can I be honest with you? I never thought I'd see the day. Now, guys, this is not going to fit the narrative, so they'll bury this as deep as they can. Instead of being big news, filling the headlines of the major media, go dig, because you're going to have to dig. Because they bury it. I want that. Doesn't fit. Okay, I've had my workout. Guys, we appreciate you very, very, very much. Okay, and I mean that. You guys put up with my shenanigans. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for sharing this. You share this. You know, it's information, guys. Share it. And get your friends to listen to, they can't, if they're not live with us in the morning, get them to listen to our podcast, The Doctor Is In podcast. Very, very popular podcast. Thanks to you guys. It's our base. We appreciate it. If you don't get our newsletters, you get our emails? If you don't, make sure you sign up for that. Are you a member of the Martin Clinic Facebook group, private? No? Well, become a member. We won't bite you. I'm hearing the reset is sold out again, so we're going into its third print. My word. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. I mean, that is a real wonderful book, and I'll give you a date when I think we're getting it back in stock, okay? Somebody remind me of that, okay? Because I'm not quite sure, but I know that, hey guys, huge success. #1 health book in Canada in terms of sales, okay? Now, Friday is question and answer. And just for your information today, guys, I am taking a day off tomorrow. I'm taking my 3 youngest grandsons to a ball game. We haven't gone in a couple of years. And those 3 young guys, they love baseball like their grandpa, okay? And I promised them, okay? And it's grandpa heaven, okay? I get to be with my 3 youngest grandsons, and we're going to get into trouble. No one's going to be able to stop us. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.